Okay, hello, what's up? What's up? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our bi-weekly Team Vibe with Me coach call. Sorry, Smokey, I'm sitting on his tail. What I wanted to talk about today, because I knew that Catherine was going to be on, Samantha's probably going to be jumping on, and Colleen's going to be watching the recording. So I figured we would talk about Team Cup because we're all on Team Cup teams. For anyone who watches this recording, this can still apply to you too, but it's basically like how to rock February. That's what this call is going to be about, because it's the end of the month. January's come and gone. I want you to reflect on that. Ask yourself, did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish? Yes? Awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back and repeat. If you didn't, ask yourself why, and ask yourself, what are you going to do to change it and make sure that February is even better? Because this first month just came and went. So that's a sign of how quickly time goes by and how quickly this year is going to go by. So if you keep taking that back seat and like letting life run you, you're not running your life, right? So time's going to go by quickly. You got to take control of it, or just sit and watch it by. Choice is up to you. So February is a big month. Beachbody's smart, and they do these like friendly competitions every quarter around like the slow business time of the quarter, right? So January rush, everyone's like, oh, New Year's resolution. Like January is a big boom for everybody. February, not so much, because February is when people are usually falling off already, like they're giving up on all their New Year's resolutions. So that's why, and even like business wise, like coaches are kind of struggling to show up for their business at that time too, because the excitement, the goal setting, that's all started to kind of go downhill, right? So they know what they're doing, and that's why they put the Team Cup around this time, so that it can give you that extra push to keep that momentum going from that New Year rush, like that New Year excitement, and keep it going. Excuse me. So just the brief go over of what Team Cup is and why I think it's so valuable is it's a chance for you. Like, we're always working as a part of a team with this, right? Oh, sorry, don't mind those there. But we're always working as a part of a team with each other. You always have access to everybody to reach out. You can find a success partner. You can work with me one-on-one, and like always have like that chance to ask questions and check in, just like you would in a boot camp. Like that's what our Team Vibe with Me coach group is, right? Like you're able to check in there, ask questions, anything like that. But when you're working with a team couple, you are directly working with other people. So that helps keep you more accountable, because it's not just you showing up for your own business, because you're showing up for your team as well, because you collect points, and there are prizes eligible only if everybody on your team rises up to reach these goals together. So prizes rank, like you are able to get an individual prize. So as long as you hit Success Club 5 or above, you will receive an individual point. Then the next level up is if everybody hits Success Club, then you get a team prize for that. So that's kind of, it's just that like accountability of showing up with each other. And it's really great. Like Colleen's on a team with other Team Dreamcatcher coaches, like broken up. So I think that's really awesome, because she's not with our immediate team. So she's with like new people, and it's going to add that extra push. Like, I don't want to be the bottom, like I don't want to let these other people down. I don't want to drag the team down. And I'm hoping it'll give her extra push, because I know it would for me. You don't want to be that odd man out, right? So with our team that we have going, we know each other already. Like, I think the only newer person is Cheyenne. Like, I've never met her or anything like that, but she's one of Allison's coaches. And I think, she's going to mesh well with us, and it'll give us a chance. It gives you a chance to get closer with your team and people on your team and really develop connections. And you can even create success partnerships from this going forward. So it's just a really great opportunity. And the whole goal of it is to get you momentum and help you get consistent in doing these things every single day. Team Cup is a push. It is meant to push you. It is like, it's meant for you to level the fuck up with this. Like, that is what it is meant to do for you. So whenever I go into a Team Cup, my mindset is to 10x whatever I'm doing. And I think that's going to be my book for the month, is the 10x rule, because that's a book by Grant Cardone, 10x rule. Yeah, the 10x rule, I'm pretty sure it is. And what he talks about in there is like 10xing or 10 timing your goal. So if you normally send out 1 message a day, your goal is to start sending out 10 messages a day now, because it's a connect. Like, I've been listening to a lot of different types of podcasts, and mainly just going back and listening to Team Beachbody, the coach podcast there, and Angie Lee. I've been listening to a couple of her older ones. And what I found that's really connected with me recently is, instead of saying this is a numbers game, the more people you talk to, the more numbers you get, you check off the list, you're better off to finally get someone after all of those numbers. You want to increase your numbers. But I think that takes us away from the humility of it and the humanity of it. And instead of, it's not a numbers game, it's a connection game. So yes, it's connecting with more people, not necessarily just checking off a number on a list, which is something that I found myself getting stuck in. And I think that's when I put too much pressure on myself, and I'm focusing more on the number. Like, I have to talk to this many people and I have to hit Success Club. Like, instead of focusing on, okay, I'm going to connect with this amount of people today, and like real connections, not just like cold invites. Like, I'm actually going to connect and talk to these many people today, and I'm going to help this amount of people. Instead of saying I'm going to hit Success Club 10, I'm focusing on, I'm going to help 5 people. And I actually think about who those people are. When I'm having these conversations, I'm like, okay, if I have open conversations with 15 people, I'm already starting to picture which one of those 15, which 5 of those 15 are going to be the people I'm going to help. And I'm focusing on that emotional, that mental, that heart connection with these people, instead of just like, I'm talking to 15 people, I'm going to sign all 15 of them up and hit Success Club 30, like, because that takes away that humanity, right? So that change, I think, is going to be really helpful as you enter Team Cup, and just any month going forward and any day of this business is, yes, you are talking to people, like a number, but if you think of it more of like, you are connecting with this amount of people a day, right? So trying to have those real connections. And there's one of the Team Beachbody podcasts, I think it was from October. I'm behind on them, so I've been catching up. October and November, and it was by Danae. I don't know her last name, but I really, really, really like the way she spoke about how she does her connections with finding her people on social media. Because the fact of the matter is, if you aren't actively going out and connecting with people on social media, you can't expect that they're just going to find you. So if there's another thing that I will recommend, like, so 10xing everything you do. So the number of connections you make, 10xing that. The number of invites you're making, 10xing that, like 10xing your effort. If you only put in 10 minutes a day, you're doubling that. You're going to try and make 20 minutes a day to work your business, something like that. So that's my first tip heading into this new month for Team Cup. The second thing is, you got to get consistent with your posting, because that is how people find you. Stories are great when people are already on your page, but new things that have been coming out, and I've been listening to Shalene's podcast, and I heard her talk about this, that people do not find you based on your stories. You know who does find you? Those random people who are trying, like, they're like fake accounts, and they're just like I always put questions on, and I get random people saying awesome content, and I go to their page and they're like one of these fake travel site things, like whatever. Those are people who are actively looking for people, so they're going to find you. But the way that you get found from your people is from your posts on your actual general, that's the word I'm looking for, general feed. So if you're not posting your social media consistently, once a day, every other day, something like that, you're basically saying you don't care about growing your social media. And I have to be that cold with it, because I need you guys to take that seriously, because that's what it is. If you're not actively working on it, it's not going anywhere. So same thing when you relate this to your health and your life. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not actively working on yourself, nothing's changing. So we have to have that same, like, I say this all the time, your business is a direct connection. Your business journey is a direct connection to your fitness journey. So if you are skipping your workouts, you're binge eating, you're snacking, you're not following your container system, you're not drinking your water, you're going to get tired, you're going to get burnt out, you're going to gain weight, you're going to lose your results. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be hard. So all of those things, if we look at our business, if you're not showing up, if you're not like doing the thing, your daily activities, if you're not sharing on social media, if you're not inviting, then you're going to feel burnt out because it's going to feel hard. You're not going to have people to connect with. So you're going to feel like you're chasing people. You're going to feel desperate. It's not going to feel fun. It's not going to grow. And that's why people quit, right? So you have to find ways. That's going to be my number 3, is find ways to add fun into this. So we have 10X rule, getting consistent on posting on your social media, and find ways to add fun into this stuff, into your business. So I made changes to the way I do my social media a little bit, where I was getting into the habit of like every post was an invitation post, like transformation post, or like talk about something, invite to my boot camp at the end, which is good once in a while, but people stop paying attention to that. If they know that you're always constantly trying to sell them something, it's not fun for them. It's not fun for you because you're not getting responses. So I changed it, and I instead started to add more personality to it. I started to add more fun things. So I added a couple posts sharing recipes, sharing my treats. Like I shared some of my card pulls on my page. I share once in a while about my low waste stuff, about my grocery hauls, and how I'm passionate on like organic. So those are things I'm pulling out parts of my life, and I'm sharing that as content on my feed, as well as in my stories, because stories are for your lifers. Posting on your feed is where you attract people who will decide to stay and become your lifers. So you still have to share that on your actual page as well. So I started to just add more of me, make it more fun, make it more value-based, and more like trying to create a community on my actual page and give stuff to my followers that they're actually going to care about, and give stuff to the new followers that they're going to care about and want to actually stay, right? So those are like the top 3 things that I can think of right now to, make this like really go into this month and give yourself that extra boost, and really rock Team Cup and rock beyond. And I guess the 4th thing I would say is you got to just do the damn thing. If that's the last thing I can say, is decide that you're going to do it. And again, this relates to, it's the same thing as when you go into your fitness journey as with your business journey. You decide you're going to commit to the program. You decide you're going to commit to the nutrition plan. And guess what? It actually works. So why are we trying to act as if this is any different? You have to decide that you're going to decide ahead of time, plan your week. If you're someone who doesn't have time, you got to do this for yourself. Like that's what it comes down to, is if you want this or not. And if you do, then you gotta make it happen. Even if it's 30 minutes a day, I know not all of you have time like I do, like I do have time to sit down for an hour or 2 hours and work my business. If you don't, that's fine. You have 30 minutes, you have 20 minutes, you have something. As long as it is effective while you're doing it, you can make it happen. So if that's I didn't say consistency yet. So again, I guess I'm adding more. Number 5 is just try and be consistent with it. So every day, show up and do something. That's what I've really been working on. And that's something I've been struggling with. Like for all of last year, like I was just straight up surviving. Like that's what 2019 was for me, was surviving. I don't want to have another year like that. So I started this year. I went on vacation. When I came back, I was like, you know what? I'm going to decide to do something every day, because something is better than nothing. And I have been the most consistent this month than I have been like all fucking last year. Whereas every day I have done something. I went through all of my because I was still having conversations last year sporadically, not super diligently. So what I did, and I was like, you know what? I have people to talk to. So I started going through all of my messages. So that's something I would recommend to you. Anyone you have ever had a conversation with, this is that time to start and try and reconnect with them and just see where it goes, see where it goes. It's not a connection with an intention to sell them something, but connecting to genuine, because how did you leave off that conversation? If you invited them and they said not right now, connect with them and ask about their reason of why they said not right now. Maybe they were having a baby. Connect with them and say, how's new baby life, or, something like that. Just get comfortable reconnecting and understand that starting now is the best thing you can do for yourself. Because if you wait, this is another habit that I used to get into. Beginning of the month would happen and I'm like, oh, it's the beginning of the month. I got time. and I wouldn't start working my business until like week 2 of the month. Well, it takes at least a week of talking to someone, at least 4 days at a minimum, before you can like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like naturally come up with an invite if it feels that way. Like, you don't want to force it. So I feel like 4 days at the minimum is like where it's like, that's not the word that I'm trying to come up with, where it's like human to invite them at that point, where you're not like just, oh, I'm going to just send them a message and like, hey girl, how have you been? I know we haven't talked in a year, but I have this new group coming up and I just thought you wanted to join because you said so last, like, that's not human, right? But if you start that connection with them and say, hey, how's it going? I know we chatted last year about working together. It wasn't the right time. No worries. I know you were going through this, so I just wanted to see if you found something that works for you, or like just how you're doing. Like, I was thinking about you. And that, like, just start that conversation, talk to them for a couple days like a human, and then say, hey, I have this group starting up, so we should all start planning for the day that you're going to set your boot camp. I'm looking at the calendar right now, and I can say that mine will probably be on the 18th after the family day long weekend, the 17th or 18th. So then after you've talked to them for a couple days, just say, hey, like, this is when I'm starting this group. Like, I know we've been talking and I know you were struggling with this before. I don't know if you're still like, it's something you could benefit from now, but I have this group. If you want to give it a shot, if you're open to chatting more about it, I'd love to give you more info. Like, just like that, like, I think we put our coach hats on and we feel like we have to be so robotic, but just like talk to these people like they're normal people and bring it up in a conversation how you would. And if it doesn't come up in a conversation, like, so this is the way I do things. So if I talk to those people for like 2 or 3 days and it doesn't naturally come up, I'm not going to force it. I'll let that go for maybe a day or two. And then I'll say, hey girl, I know we were talking earlier this week. I thought about you as I was getting my group together. I have this coming up. Are you interested in joining this round? So it's not completely out of the blue, excuse me. And it just feels better for you and it feels better for them. But as I'm saying that, so again, circling back to what I was saying, like starting now and how long it can take you to build up that conversation. So how I used to do it, I would wait. I wouldn't do anything for the first week of the month because I'm like, oh, it's the first week of the month. I got time. All right, it is the 10th, February 10th, which is a Monday, and I just start sending out messages. Chances are people won't get back to me or I won't start talking to them and having an actual conversation until the 12th, which is a Wednesday. Talk. Maybe I do the invitation on like Saturday or Sunday and I've already got my group starting on the 17th. Like, do you feel how stressful that can be and how you can get desperate at that point? If you're feeling desperate, they're going to feel desperate. So that's why it is always important to keep talking to people and not just waiting until like, so if you already hit Success Club and you're like, oh, I'm just going to wait until next month. I've already hit Success Club. That's the same thing that's going to happen. You're setting yourself up for failure instead of like, so if you hit Success Club, say on like the 15th of this month, awesome. You should be starting those connections already to set you up for the month ahead. So this has been something that I talk about doing all the time, but I didn't really start doing it until like I used to do it. And then I fell off. Surviving. It happens. December, I did this where I was having conversations, building myself up for January. And I'm still doing it. I'm still having these conversations. People who said, no, not right now. Or people who are just like, oh, I'm going on vacation. We'll talk when I get back. I'm setting myself up for February already. Like I have people in mind that I'm already going to connect with. And like, nothing's a for sure thing until it's a for sure thing also. Because I had a lot of people who said they were going to, and then once I sent them the link, they didn't. So nothing's a for sure thing until it's a for sure thing, which is also why you need to be having these connections going all the time because you just never know. And you don't want to like sit and like wait on something and then it doesn't happen and you're stressed at the end of the month and you're freaking out. Like if you're going to run your own online business, your goal should be to try and have at least amount of stress as possible for yourself because life has already gives you stress. Your other jobs already give you stress, right? Like there are parts of this business that already give you stress, but this is a part that you can control by just setting yourself up. And I'm going to make another connection. You meal prep for your meals for the week, right? So this is kind of like your meal prep for your business, for your month ahead. You're having those conversations. You're getting through that, like, this should be the fun part. Just having the genuine conversation of connecting with the people. This is the fun part. And then you're building that relationship so that it's not as scary or pressureful for you or them when you do come up with that invite as you get closer to your challenge group date. So this is a shorter month, right? We have 29 days, so it's not a leap year, but it's only 4 weeks. So this is feels like a short month. It's going to go by quick in February. So you have to make the most out of your time. So quick recap here. Number one, ways to kickstart this month and really rock Teen Cup and just rock every month going forward. Because whatever you build in this Teen Cup month, you can take this forward going onward and just keep duplicating it. And that's kind of the goal for that Beachbody is trying to set up for you, is to just keep these habits going. So 10x your productivity, 10x what you're doing. Another great book recommendation I'll make is Go for No, because that's really helpful for this month, because if you're 10xing your connections and your invitations, you're going to get a lot of no's. So it's time to get that mindset healthy with being okay with it. So Go for No for network marketers by, I can't think of it right now, but I have the book. I can post about it. I just can't think of it right now. That it's going to bug me. I'll come back to it later. Those are two really great books to read this month. 10X and Go for No for network marketers. Blah. It's right there. It's stuck in my head and it's making me stutter because it's his name. It's right there. I'll come back to it. Moving on. Number 2 is getting consistent with your social media, right? Posting on social media every single day. Something is better than nothing. And I'm talking on your actual page, because you got to get yourself in front of more people, because if you've already gone through and talked to everybody who's following you right now, that means you got to find more followers, right? So consistently posting on social media is something you control, something you can do. Plan them ahead of time. Whatever you got to do, just make it happen. Number 3, make it fun, add fun into this business. Do set music as you're working your business, play a game with yourself. I know Keisha, I follow her. She's amazing. She always does her cake thing. So it's 3 things that you have to get done, and then everything else is just sprinkles on top of the cake, right? So 3 things that you have to get done is your cake, and everything else is sprinkles, right? So that's her metaphor, and it makes it fun because she thinks about cake and it's fun, right? So make it fun. Make your social media posting fun. Share about you. Don't make it all robotic and teacher preacher. Share actual things that you enjoy. I just shared, one day I shared the picture of Smokey and I, and how excited and happy I was to have Smokey. You have pets. Share about your pets. People love seeing things about pets. You just add, people love talking about themselves too. So Ray Higdon, there it is. I knew it started with an R. I was Rob Burger. It was right there. Thank you. So Go for No by Ray Higdon. So yeah, if you have an animal, share about it. Because when I shared that post, I'm also trying to get more conversations going and more saves on my post, because that's what Instagram likes. And they'll see that if people are commenting on your stuff, if people are sharing and saving your post, then that they're gonna share your post more and get it in front of more eyes. So I did that, and I was comment below if you've ever moved with your pet, how long it took them to adjust. Just a simple question like that, and something that's more than a yes or no question. The other thing I did was a giveaway. So I bought a book for my friend Danny, and it was 2 for 1. So I did a giveaway, and I had them tag 3 people and extra bonus points for sharing the post on their stories. So I had 2 people share, or they tagged 6 people on there. So Instagram saw that. It boosted me up on the algorithm. And one girl shared my post onto her stories. So that showed Instagram that people like this post. I also had my workouts yesterday, and I said, save this post. When I made about the organic Clean 15, the Dirty Dozen, I said, save this post. So tell people to save the post, and they will. Because otherwise, a lot of people don't know how to save the post. They don't even know that they can. So tell them to do that. Make it fun, make it a community, and add value. The fourth thing that I have is like, just do the damn thing, you guys. Like, decide you're going to do this for real now, you know, like it's the beginning of the year. And like I said at the beginning of this call, like ask yourself, are you happy with what you've already done through the month of January? If you are, awesome, repeat it. If not, fucking change it. Like decide that you're going to change it. Decide that you're going to live your life. You're going to get in the driver's seat and not let life run you. Okay. So decide that like this is going to be a month of transformation and growth for you. Okay. And the last thing, I don't remember what it was. If I'm being honest, these were all just coming as I was talking. But yeah, I'm sure if you watch the recording, you can go back and find what the fifth thing was. I don't remember, but yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for you is just deciding. That's the biggest thing. Deciding that it's going to be awesome. Make the time for it. I think that was number 5, maybe. Make the time. I don't know. But in any case, do the best that you can. But trying to just grow. That's what this month is all about. It's all about growth, growing yourself, growing your team, growing your business, growing your income, and just growth. So let's put that as like our top of our, like, you know, sticky notes all over the place and say, I'm going to, like, this month is about growth, and just focus on that. I think, I can't remember what number 5 was. I'm like deadhead right now, but I'm trying to like go over everything I said. But yeah, so that's all I got for you. Do you have any questions about anything, Catherine? No? Cool. Alrighty. So, yeah, that's about it. So that is our call for this week. We do it bi-weekly. So the next one will be 2 Wednesdays from now. I think that'll be February 12th. That will be our next team call. All right. So I'm going to take a picture of us here. Easy smokies. Okay. Taking a picture, smile, nice and pretty. Cheese. I'm going to take a picture with Smokey in the photo because Smokey, turn around, look it, take picture. Okay. He's just chilling there. But him's so cute. Oh, that's one thing I want to add. Talking about what you do more. So I found that talking about coaching and inviting to coaching became a lot easier when I actually sat down to do the thing. Like when I actually was working my business and I would sit down, I found it was a lot easier to share that I was working my business because I was actually doing it. So that was one thing that was like, oh, I'm sitting down anyways. I just put on my glass and I took a picture and said, working my business, you know, or like I took a picture of Smokey yesterday and said, stay at home cat mom, like best at home office views. So those little breadcrumb things are important on your stories to share about that because it creates that curiosity marketing. So that's one thing I want to challenge you to is anytime you sit down to work your business, take a picture and tell people that you're working your business, you know, like whatever you got to say, like sitting down to check in with my group, and you can go check in on our team group, you know, our boot camp, and like scroll down. Like I say this to you guys all the time. If you don't have a group of your own to share about yet, share about our group, like team or self-love and badass bodies boot camp. Like that's still your team. So share about it, scroll through there and say, love getting to check in with the ladies on my team. You're not lying. It's still your team. You know, like I'm not offended. I'm not feeling like you're claiming them as your clients. It's still your team. And it shows people that social proof that you are doing something, right? It's not just you working out in your living room, right? You're actually a part of a team. Other people do this with you and you can help them do it too. So if you're someone who's like a little bit like you don't feel comfortable inviting yet to coaching in like talking, we're going to work up to that. But all you got to do is like take a picture of yourself and say like, so I'll use Catherine as an example, like working on being a stay-at-home dog mom, you know, like working my business, and just like post about it like that, just like that. And like you can even ask a question like, who wouldn't love to be able to stay at home with their dogs all day? Me, or like you can do a question and a poll. I just gave myself an idea and I'm going to do that tomorrow. Like that's all it can be. And then that increases that curiosity, and you're going to find out who are those people who are interested in what you're doing. Because the people who say, oh my God, like I wish I could stay at home, that's an open door for you to message them and just start a conversation and then let them know what you're doing. And then it's not up to you to decide if it's for them or not. It's for you to just present the opportunity and then leave it up to them to decide, right? Okay, that's officially what I got for you now, all right? So last little tidbit there. I'll talk to you guys later. If you have any questions, always here to reach out and ask. Make sure you watch this recording, like it, comment your takeaways or any questions you have, and we'll go from there, okay? You have a question? Oh, I thought you said, okay. All righty. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one, okay? Mwah.